Let me tell you the incredible story of Vina Hill, a young woman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, whose life took an unimaginable turn during a class trip to Italy. Vina was always a bit of an introvert as a child, but she had a deep passion for ballet and dreamed of becoming a professional ballerina. She dedicated 12 years of her life to this dream, practicing tirelessly. Her parents were typical working middle-class folks, and Vina attended public school before moving to a Catholic school. There wasn't a strong religious influence in her family, just a simple, grounded upbringing. As Vina approached the later years of high school, her class decided to do something exciting and memorable. They planned a class trip, and after much discussion, they settled on Italy as their destination. Vina was thrilled about this choice, especially since her father was half Sicilian. She had never traveled abroad before, as her family's adventures were usually limited to nearby states. This overseas trip was a huge deal for her, and she could hardly contain her excitement. Even her parents, who were usually keen on travel, supported the idea and were willing to pay for it. Reassured by the fact that the trip would be chaperoned. At 17 years old, Vina was about to leave the country for the first time, and she was absolutely over the moon. In the days leading up to the trip, Vina couldn't sleep a wink. She was too pumped up, imagining all the experiences awaiting her in Italy. During the long flight, she barely rested for 2 minutes, her mind buzzing with anticipation. By the time the plane landed in Italy, she was utterly exhausted, yet it was morning there, and the day was just beginning. Stepping off the plane, Vina felt like she had arrived on another planet. The airport was a whirlwind of different cultures and people, unlike anything she had ever seen. She was overwhelmed and tired, but determined to keep going. To combat her fatigue, Vina decided to take some vitamin pills her mother, an avid vitamin enthusiast, had given her. She also had some caffeine pills, often used to stay awake during study sessions for tests, like the SATs. These pills were supposed to give a quick jolt of energy if taken as directed. However, Vina didn't follow the instructions. She took far too many, shoving them into her mouth like candy. At one point, some even fell into a fountain, but she picked them up and swallowed them anyway, not thinking much of it. As the group gathered with their chaperone and loaded their belongings onto a bus, Vina started to feel something wasn't right. A strange sensation began to creep over her. At first, it was just a tingling under her skin, but soon her heart started racing a little. This was only a small hint of what was to come. As the bus began to move, the feeling intensified. Vina felt like she could jump out of her skin. She leaned over, clutching herself, as her heart raced faster and faster. It got to the point where she could hear nothing but the pounding of her own heartbeat. It was an eerie, unsettling experience, unlike anything she had ever felt before. The racing of her heart reached a terrifying crescendo, and then, suddenly, it began to slow down, dramatically. It slowed and slowed until it came to a complete stop. That moment was the most frightening of Vina's life. And in that very instant, something extraordinary happened. Vina's consciousness seemed to pop out of her body. It was instantaneous, with no loss of awareness at all. She found herself looking down at her own body, recognizing it as hers, yet feeling completely detached from it. It was as if she were observing a stranger. Two conflicting emotions washed over Vina at that moment. The first was confusion. She couldn't comprehend what had just happened. She thought to herself, "There's no way I'm dead. I can't be. I feel so alive." And indeed, she felt incredible, better than she ever had as a teenager. Back then, teenagers often feel invincible. But this sensation was that feeling multiplied by 1,000. At the same time, Vina was in awe of how she was perceiving the physical world. It was unlike anything she had ever imagined. She could see everything in a new, vivid way, as if layers of reality had been peeled back to reveal something deeper. As pure consciousness, things didn't seem as dense to Vina. She could see through the layers of objects and notice tiny energy patterns everywhere, like little waves pulsating around her. One memory that stuck with her was seeing a metal bar at the front of the bus, the kind people hold on to when preparing to exit. To her amazement, energy was radiating from this inanimate object. Then, the bus driver cursed loudly at the traffic, drawing her attention. Vina could see through his physical exterior, perceiving the full spectrum of his being. She sensed he was unwell and picked up details about his life. Things like infidelity and having children with different women. Energy emanated from him, telling stories of his existence. Vina noticed energy coming from everyone on the bus, pulsing and alive. Yet when she looked at her own body, there was very little energy emanating from it. It was a stark contrast. Suddenly, a presence overlaid her consciousness, gently drawing her attention away from the bus. It wasn't forceful, but it was enough to pull her out of that space. This presence guided her into a realm of pure, brilliant whiteness. It wasn't a room, or even a confined space. It was limitless, a realm of the purest white she could ever imagine. Vina knew a being was responsible for bringing her there, though its identity wasn't revealed. It felt like meeting a friendly stranger. They interacted warmly, but no name was given. There was a vague sense of familiarity, as if she knew this being from somewhere, though she couldn't place it. This being exuded beautiful, loving vibes, and Vina instinctively trusted them. Initially, they kept their distance, allowing her to explore and experience this realm on her own terms. Her energy merged seamlessly with this space, harmoniously blending, as if she were a part of it. She felt at home, as if she never wanted to be anywhere else. In this white realm, Vina connected with different worlds and creations, experiencing an overwhelming influx of various facets of existence. This was just a tiny sliver of what was out there, a minuscule part of the greater whole. Information came to her, not through words, but as complete thoughts, filled with color, feeling, and sound, transferred inaudibly. The being explained that they were her spiritual companion, often called a guide. They didn't fill in all the gaps of knowledge Vina had as a teenager, but they did share some insights. One embarrassing revelation was a review of all the petty thefts Vina had committed as a teen. She had taken small things here and there, and the guide showed her every instance, making her confront those actions. Vina also expressed her dream of becoming a famous ballerina. The guide revealed a fuller picture through a single thought. They showed her that while she thought she wanted this dream, she hadn't put in the necessary effort or truly strived for it. The energy and passion just weren't there, and it wasn't her true purpose. She understood and accepted this truth immediately. The guide also revealed that her taking too many caffeine pills wasn't a random accident. It was part of an energy path she was meant to follow. It was supposed to happen. Through this experience, Vina learned about the soul as the highest aspect of oneself. She came into the presence of her own soul, an incredibly humbling encounter. It was like meeting a different person, someone she idolized. Yet it was her, the purest essence of who she was. Her soul never fully incarnates or leaves that realm. It remains whole and unbroken, sending off shoots like Vina's current existence into the physical world. Meeting her soul was the most divine and beautiful experience of her life, connecting her to the entirety of everything. There was no sense of up, down, left or right in this realm. Space was vast, and from Vina's perspective she saw not only the space observable through telescopes on Earth, but also layers and dimensions beyond. It was mind-blowing. She observed orbs, traveling through space, moving with purpose in different directions. Their shapes shifted slightly as they moved, almost like a slipstream. Vina was fascinated, wondering if they felt the same excitement she did. These were beings from different dimensions, traveling through the vastness, and it opened her eyes to how much was happening out there. One of the final experiences Vina had was being taken to a garden unlike any on Earth. Everything in it was alive, vibrant with countless species of plants she had never seen before. She interacted with them, even sharing what she called a spiritual dance with one particular flower. Though she couldn't describe the flower, it was unlike anything familiar. It was as if they were ballerinas dancing together in perfect harmony. This infused Vina with love and a sense of life beyond what she had known. A life of living love where every move was purposeful and filled with affection. It was an incredible moment. Vina had gone from being a small-town teenager from Philadelphia on a high school trip to Italy to witnessing an entirely different part of existence she hadn't known existed. Before leaving this realm, she asked her guide how she should live now, how she could ever match the beauty of this experience. The answer was simple yet profound. Just live, be kind, and enjoy the life she had been given in the physical world. Though she felt expansive and magnificent in that realm, she was encouraged to live the best she could in her focused existence. Those words stuck with her forever. There was no choice offered to stay or return. The next thing Vina knew, she was passing through a different kind of portal. It started out ethereal but grew denser, feeling like moving through muddy water. The heaviness was overwhelming as she reconnected with the sensations of her body. It wasn't easy. She had to consciously think about moving her arm, her leg, feeling like a stranger in her own skin, almost as if she were animating a puppet. Slowly, she heard her heart beat again, but this time it was normal, finding its rhythm. The terrifying racing and slowing she had felt earlier were gone. When Vina finally opened her eyes, she was temporarily blind, but soon her sight returned fully. She was back in her body on the bus. Astonishingly, no one seemed to notice what had happened. None of her friends, the other passengers, or the chaperone said a word. Vina wasn't concerned with them at that moment. She was too busy processing everything, literally coming back into her own skin. She yearned for that feeling of divine love she had experienced, a love beyond anything earthly. Though she carried the memory, it wasn't the same as being immersed in it. Of course, Vina couldn't share this with anyone. She knew her friends would think she was crazy, or on drugs if she tried to explain. So, she kept it to herself. During the rest of the trip, as the group visited various places and went on tours, Vina often wandered off alone. She needed space to think, replaying the experience over and over in her mind. Even after returning home, she couldn't tell her parents or anyone else. The weight of the experience lingered. Back in Philadelphia, Vina tried college, but only lasted about a year. She returned home, feeling aimless. The profound experience had shifted her perspective so much that it dulled any ambition she once had. Her father, frustrated, gave her 30 days to do something with her life. That push led her to join the military, where she served for 10 years. During that time, the harshness of military life, combined with becoming a mother, pushed the near-death experience to the back of her mind. She didn't have the time or space to fully process it then. It took Vina years to piece together what had happened. It wasn't something she could instantly understand or organize in her mind. One of the key lessons she learned was that life isn't random or haphazard. There's no such thing as luck as we often think of it. Everything is pre-planned in a way, with different paths set up for us to take, all leading to the soul's greater agenda. The reason we come into physical existence. There are things we're meant to experience, learn, or rectify. For most, this isn't the first time around. There are lessons to round out our understanding. Someone once asked Vina if this life is real, or just a hologram. She believes it's very real, but it's like living in a play. It's a serious performance, but still a play. This understanding has helped her navigate the challenges of life. She also came to see that there's a current of love behind everything. Love is the foundation of all existence, the cohesive force that makes everything run. It doesn't always appear pretty. It shows up in ways we can best perceive it, but it's always there. Love is sublime, beautiful, harmonious, and perfect. Accepting and understanding this can flip one's perspective and help see the world in a whole new way. Vina's story teaches that the person we see in the mirror isn't separate from the spiritual world. It's just a tiny part of it. We are never truly apart from that greater existence. We are it. Her journey from a high school trip to a profound near-death experience reshaped her understanding of life, love, and purpose, leaving an indelible mark on how she views her place in the vastness of everything.